today I'm making this one of Trace's pulse pistols. I made this one as an experiment a few weeks ago, and I'm now making a second one. Alright, I will get this eventually. As you can see, there's working lighting rig, everything else. Okay, I'm going to be using hardback foam in this case, or for this one. Now when I started, I scaled the pulse pistol from pictures and scaled it to me, then drew it up on paper because that's my template. As you can see, it is well used. Got a little bit of detailing for the outside, and then of course the cutouts for the centre. Now use your paper template, or use a paper template. In this case, put it on the card and use a highlighter around the edges, so you end up with an outline like that. Now this gun is 6 layers thick, and there is 6 layers of card. Now in the handle, I've got a hole cut for the battery. Use your battery to scale that. Of course I'm using a 9V and some LEDs, but yeah. Then use the inside cut piece just to mark out the same way as you did before, just to mark out where the hole's going to be. Then you cut them all out of the cut. Now I've cut out all the layers. As you can see, I've got that, which has the hole for the battery and hole for the lighting in the centre. Now I've just got to glue them onto one of the undamaged bases. Once I've done untangling them. In this case I'm just using hot glue because I've always used hot glue. And just stick it on top. Continue that through all the layers until you've got it until it's 5 layers thick, but don't stick on the flat top, or don't stick on the complete top layer, because if you stick that on you can't put in any of the electrics and you wasted a lot of time. Right, it's now all stuck together, and I've cut holes in there, which is layer 2. Second layer, which is the first with the hole in it, and the last with the hole in it, which is going to be your sights on the back, and then 2 through the centre at the front there, which is going to be the sights at the front. Now at the end, well, I'll show you it later, but you're going to need to cut a line up here, up there from the battery compartment up to the main section, in which the little cables are going to run. Also, you only need to fit like 0.1mm cables through, so it should be okay by there. And as long as you have enough space to be able to grind away the back so you can hold it properly. And then one little section down the back there to cut through all the layers. Yes, okay, fine. Cut through all the layers but one. If you cut through all the layers, it'll fall apart, but if you cut through all but one, you get a big block along the back, which will glow from all the light inside. Right, once you're done cutting, you'll have it looking like this. See, there is a cutout by there, little cut by there, in that section, and there. At the end, after this is done off, you're going to drill through there and put pipe in. But for now, that's it. Now the body's made, right through that, and it's dried. Now we've got to make the lighting rig for the piston. In this case, it's just a simple set of LEDs, which are set up on this board just to test. I've wired them all up already, and you just connect the battery, and they get stupidly bright. In this case, I'm just using super bright LEDs, as well as 1K resistors of 9-volt battery. I would say in this case, I learned this afterwards, these 9-volt batteries have barely any capacity to them, so it'll do okay for the pistols, but in the accelerator I'm building, I'm going to need a lot of them in order to last for an entire convention. So I would advise using a better power source, but I'm too far now to undo it. So what I'm going to do is solder all of these, because I'm going to solder the resistor permanently onto the LED, then wire it up to the connector here. Then I'm going to get the LEDs. I'm going to position one by here aiming down, and one there aiming outwards towards the front, or maybe in there. But that'll turn the entire inside of this into a light box, and it's quite bright, as you can see from what's coming off of it. Unfortunately, I forgot to do this previously, so I have to cut the circles in the side of this to either side. As we cut these, so I'm going to use this one, which was my first attempt of making it. It didn't go well. It actually turned out really badly, so I'm just going to use the positions off of it. As such, it's not the best, but first off you draw a ring where you need the hole to go. Then you draw a second one inside with just a little bit of a gap. Then after that, I'm going to get some clear plastic and stick the inner circle onto that, and then the plastic sticks on the inside just to hold it in place. Now I've got the little circles in place on there, if you can see it, and on there. Now I have to start installing the LEDs into the frame. So I'm just going to take one. As you can see, I've wired it on. The resistor is soldered it under that shrink wrap. That shrink wrap is also insulating, so there is no chance of it shorting out. What I'm going to do is take this LED, put some hot glue down where I want it to go, then push the LED into the hot glue. Like that inside. You can barely see it, but there is now an LED there. The hot glue will hold it in place, and that should be enough for inside. Now just repeat that for all of them. I've soldered all the wires together, and I've put insulation tape around them. Insulation tape isn't the best way to insulate these things. I should be using shrink wrap, but unfortunately I'm a bit lazy, so I'm not bothering. But I would strongly advise using the proper insulating material. You know, if you're not an expert, you don't know what's going to be going wrong. So now connect up the battery to test, and it is now very bright, but it's all working, which means it's okay to start sealing it in. Now in the channel I made before, I'm going to stick the wires into that, and some hot glue just to hold it all in place. You hold that in. Of course, if you have a stupidly hot glue gun, I would suggest not doing this with your fingers and doing it with something else. You know, something that you are not likely to get burnt with. And get the 2 wires coming off of your plug, and don't forget to glue them in as well. This piece of the solder joint, which is relatively delicate, will be held in place by the hot glue, therefore stopping it from actually going wrong, or therefore stopping any of the joints from breaking, so it's more fixed, that's all. Just do a quick. Now it's relatively dry. That is the inside of the pistol done. See, it lights up and it actually glows through. For a second, night time, so I can do this. Okay, now you can barely see anything, as I know. It means I can do that and show you just how bright this thing is. At the moment you can't really see much detail on it because it's not painted and it's got no primers on, but this is my finished one. This is my finished one with all the detailing and paint on, and it ends up glowing very much better, to be fair. Right, since last time all I've done is stick this bit of trim on either side and put a hole in the front by there. Now that little hole there is going to be used for the barrel, so you can get some light out of it. I've just got a drill bit. I did it with a proper drill first off, but you can just, this material's so soft you can just put a drill bit through by hand, like so. A hole now goes through to the inside. It's a little bit messy, but you don't need to worry about that because you've got a bit of pipe. Now this just needs to be the length of the barrel you have outside, plus a little bit that goes inside like that. Now stick it in a little bit, put some glue around, and it should draw the glue in with it when it eventually goes in. So you've got a little barrel sticking out the end. Now I cut this bit out of foam. It is just a little bit of a sight for it, but it's not ever going to be useful in a real one. Just put that down the barrel, put a little bit of glue around. It's starting to look more like a pistol. Now, with this little section by here, I'm going to need to cut about 5 of these and then stick them all together, and they fill in the gap by there to fill in the basic frame of the pistol. Then after that I'm going to be using my file, and I'm going to file all of this down to a rounded shape as well as along the bottom and this bit once it's in, and then carve this grip. So hopefully the next part will be that finished. I've now carved it to be the shape of the other gun. Now it's ready for painting. Now of course all I've done is go over it with a set of files. This one, which is a semicircle file, circle file, and I should have a flat file somewhere around here. Now some of the bits I need to do with sandpaper, like here, because you can't really get a file in it. And to make the grip, just following a grip off of a toy gun or something like that is enough to get the basic shape. But to make it comfortable to hold, you just file away into the material. So wherever you feel a bump digging into your hand, you file away there until it feels comfortable, which I've done. And now it's ready for painting. Okay, I finished painting my second pulse pistol, as you can see. Now this painting was done a base coat of white and then a coat underneath of black on these darker sections, and then sealer mixed with silver paint for detailing around there, and paint on all of this with black. And then once you're done painting, don't forget all the details, you end up with a pistol like these. Okay, hopefully see you next time, and bye. Bye.